Hey everybody, it's Remy. So I wanted to follow up with one of the videos I made last week or the week before, talking about the interview that I had with a client. So if you haven't watched that one, this video is not gonna make sense. So please go and watch that. I'll put it in the description. So basically, I finally heard back from them. I didn't hear back from them last week. And this week was when they have like their training and stuff, so I was getting worried, maybe I didn't get the job and blah blah blah. So then I heard back from a different person that I had spoke to, and it was very interesting the way that she set it up, and she was very careful with the way that she worded things. Basically she wanted to put me somewhere else instead of with that client, even though it went well with that client, because of my transition. And that sounds like, oh, well, she didn't hire you because you're trans. No, it was that she was not only thinking about the client, but she was actually also thinking about me, because the client wanted somebody who was female, and like, even though the client at first read me as male, then she was like, oh, and I didn't really say anything, so I wasn't sure, so I didn't really correct them, and I probably could have gotten away with it and been like, no, I'm he, and blah blah blah, but I wasn't as confident. So she was kind of saying to me that she was worried about how it would go with the client if I was to transition, because I would look more male, and the client wanted someone who was female to be their one-on-one person, and I'm not. So that was interesting to hear that from her. And she was saying too, and I said to her too, I was like, that was actually a concern of mine as well, that clients in those type of situations in a residential facility or a day program, whether they have mental, emotional, physical disabilities in some respect, or whatever mixture, in those environments, structure is better for them, and any kind of change is difficult. So me changing is going to have an effect on the clients no matter what, and it's not necessarily a good or a bad thing, it's just how it is. And so I brought that up with her, and it sounded that she really cared, and that she didn't want me to think oh, because you're trans, you can't work with this, you can't work with this client. She's like, you know what I mean? It was like, she was thinking about the client, and she was also thinking about me. So that made me feel really good. And I said to her, I thought about this too. I was concerned about this as well. I wasn't sure how, I was like, this is being trans is a hard thing for a lot of people to understand. For typical people, everyday people to understand. You know what I mean? I was like, so it's a whole other ballgame with clients in this type of situation. So I think she understood where, she heard that I understood where she was coming from, and I understood that she wasn't just like, oh, so that made me feel really good. I mean, I wonder how it would have went if, I was more confident in saying, no, I use he, him pronouns, that kind of a thing. Because I think I could pass as a young guy, in some ways, but other ways I'm sure I don't. I mean, I'm still feminine. I'm just kind of a feminine guy. I've accepted that, but it's hard that people take that as, will read that as gendering, but they want me to work at this different facility and try interviewing with them. And so what's great is that I still have the job with this major, they have this company, and then they work at different facilities. So this overall company wants me to work for them. It's just finding the right fit at whatever facility. And the facility will have more men, and which, I mean, it kind of makes me a little nervous. Not really. It'll be interesting to kind of see how it goes. and learning more about the other place. So we'll see. But I'm just happy that I have a job. I'm not working right now, but I should be getting a call within the next couple of days. They said they would call me and I would have an interview, and then they said that they could start my training like early February, which is great. Because they have trainings like every third week of the month, and I was like, I really don't want to wait until like I don't have any money right now. Like I have barely any money. So I can barely pay rent right now. I can't even pay rent right now. So I'm like, I really need to start working soon. And I think the person I spoke to, she understood that like I don't have a job right now. So she was like, no, we can get you started earlier. Don't worry. I'm like, okay, good, because I need money. Really bad. So I'm going to be working again, and I don't know what kind of schedule it's going to be, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having a structure back in my life, because I've really lost it, and I think it'll be good for me, and keeping me on my toes, and, you know, learning, you know, I gotta brush up on all that stuff, because it's been a long time since I've been in a mental health kind of a setting, and it's such a great contrast too to where I was, you know, compared to where I was when I was working at Whalen. It was shitty. I was fighting tooth and nail, but I mean, this company, you know, they see me for who I am, and they respect me like amazingly. Like it just feels good, like that they care. Like I feel like they care, you know, and that's why they called me and talked to me about, you know, how they think this other place might be a better fit for me. So that really made me feel good, and it makes me feel good about working there, you know, that it sounds like it's going to be really good. And it's interesting because I've heard a lot of not so great things about that place, but if you know how to, what I've kind of realized and learned about that place though is if the place that I'm going to probably be working is that as long as you have good personal boundaries, then you shouldn't really have a problem. And it's the people that don't that it doesn't work out very well, you know? Because like that was one of the things with the clients is they'll take something personal, like the client that I was possibly going to work with, now not, is that, you know, she takes any personal thing and she'll use it against you. And that was what, you know, the person who I spoke to was talking to me about, was concerned about, is the client taking that I'm trans and really using that and just grinding me down. And that's something that's very vulnerable, so for me. So, you know, I mean, I feel, you know, with clients, you know, you have to separate yourself and stuff, but still, it'd be really hard if, you know, it'd still not be fun hearing certain things, even if, you know, you can let it roll off your back mostly. I mean, it's still not fun to hear. So yeah, I'm still just kind of hanging out at this point and trying to wait for the interview at this point, but I'm just glad I have a job. But yeah, otherwise things have been alright. I've just kind of been moving along, doing my own thing, focusing on my cats. But yeah, that's all I got. Oh, I did talk to I was thinking about, I need to talk to endocrinology and all of that, but I talked to my therapist about going on T and writing a T letter, and she wants to wait like a couple months, but not very long, like 2 months maybe, or 3. She wants to have a few more sessions with me, which is fine, but I signed something saying that she can talk to my endocrinologist, which is good. So so that's a step. But yeah. Anyway, we'll see how things go, and I will keep you guys posted. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a good week, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.